Next week's elections in Uganda will take place in an environment marked by widespread repression and intimidation against the political opposition, human rights defenders, journalists, and those with dissenting voices, says a report that we have published today.
In the report, the UN Human Rights Office accuses Ugandan authorities of relying on recently amended legislation like the Computer Misuse Amendment Act 2022, the NGO Amendment Act 2024, and the UPDF Amendment Act 2025 to silence, dissent, restrict political activity, and limit freedom of expression. The report states that opposition political parties have been particularly affected, with political gatherings disrupted, party offices blocked, and party leaders reportedly subjected to forced confinement.
Ugandan authorities have arrested and detained opposition leaders and activists, raided the premises of political opposition parties, and confiscated their property. They have also suspended radio stations, arrested bloggers, and tightened control over NGOs.
The UN has also raised concern over opposition figures and human rights defenders still in custody, including retired Colonel Kizza Besigye, Hajobed Lutale, and Sarah Birete.
Leading an opposition figure, Kizza Besigye, remains in detention on questionable treason charges since he was abducted in neighboring Kenya in November 2024. He and his associate, Hajobed Lutale, have been repeatedly denied bail on unclear grounds. The recent arrest of renowned human rights defender Sarah Birete and the government's directive imposing a blanket ban on live broadcasting of what it describes as riots and unlawful processions are the latest in a series of concerning developments.
However, State Minister for Foreign Affairs Okello Oryem says they are disappointed that the UN can compile such a report based on social media reports without consulting government.
This statement was released on the basis of information that was not authenticated and was more or less picked from the social media. And the government of Uganda was at no time consulted or requested to confirm or deny any of these allegations that they have put in their statements. As such, we protest in no uncertain terms that this report is unfair, unjust, and should have given the government of Uganda an opportunity to respond to it before it is released.
The report further alleges that security, including the police, the military, and the Joint Anti-Terrorism Task Force, have used live ammunition against peaceful assemblies and restricted the movement of political leaders ahead of campaign rallies.
Security forces, including police, the military, and the Joint Anti-Terrorist Task Force, have unlawfully used firearms and live ammunition to disperse peaceful assemblies and to carry out arbitrary arrests and prolonged pretrial detentions, particularly targeting the opposition, after using unmarked vans, commonly known as drones, to abduct opposition parties' members and supporters and hold them in incommunicado detention at unauthorized sites known as safe houses.
Presenting the findings, Martha Hurtado said the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights has urged Ugandan authorities to guarantee a safe and enabling environment for political participation and to address alleged election-related human rights violations through independent and impartial processes.
High Commissioner Volker Turk calls on the Ugandan authorities to uphold the rights of all Ugandans to take part in the public affairs of the country fully and safely, and is their right under international law. They must, among others, ensure that no unnecessary or disproportionate force, including lethal force, is used to disperse peaceful protest on election day and beyond.
The UN is calling on the Ugandan government to investigate alleged election-related human rights violations, including unresolved cases from the 2021 elections.
All those responsible for election-related human rights violations, including unresolved violations from the 2021 elections, must be held to account through fair proceedings following effective, thorough, and impartial investigations.
Oryem says all Ugandans, despite their political affiliation or position in government, should follow the law.
Uganda is a law-abiding country. We have a constitution that we strictly abide by and follow by, and anybody and everybody is subjected to the laws of Uganda, irrespective of who they are, including the oppositions. We urge the United Nations High Commission, to not target Uganda as a soft target, but to look at more seriously serious breaches of human rights that is taking place in big times in the current climate in the world. There are ongoing human rights abuses in countries that the United Nations Commission would not dare speak about, comment about, or we are disappointed that they are not following serious breaches of human rights in other countries, and they choose Uganda as a soft target.
As Ugandans head to the polls on 15th January 2026, the government has reiterated its commitment to protecting citizens and ensuring free and fair elections. Betty Mudondo, NTV Weekend Edition.